How well do I remember how Jesus brought me through. I prayed, I walked a night or two. I said, Lord, why don't you take and use me? That's all that I can do. I give my life to Jesus. What about you? That was a song my grandmother gave to my father. He was going through a hard time. So now I've given it to you. My he's not just my dad, he was my friend and my mentor. Same as to my brothers. He didn't build a corporation, a true corporation with board members and whatnot. He grabbed us all as boys, said, it's time for you to get to work. I turned 16. Similar to all my other brothers, come of age, and we think, like MD Anderson or like Texas Southern, we're going to get our $1 million. I walked in with a big smile on my face. I was 16, driver's license. George said to me, boy, when I was 16, I was taking care of my mother. You're going to be Batman or Boy Wonder for the rest of your life. Walked my way right out of there and made myself to my room. But he raised all his sons. He called us his young executives. We didn't really have a choice in that. He made us get to work, whether it was digging post holes on the ranch, trying to catch, rein in, and train young 2-year-old horses. If you ever met a 2-year-old horse, my goodness, Craig, you know. George was the son of Nancy Ree and J.D. Foreman. His love for his parents was legendary, as he always talked about how much he loved his mother and his love for his father. We affectionately called him Granddaddy. Granddaddy would grab George by the head as a boy and say, hit like Jack Johnson, stronger than Jack Dempsey, jump back 10 feet and hit you. He bragged on him. The future heavyweight champion of the world, he said that to a little boy. Born in Possum Ridge, Marshall, Texas, he was one of 7 children and often talked about the challenges he and his family faced. Life was a struggle, and his family moved to Houston for a better opportunity. He used to say, I was so poor, we were just po. We couldn't even afford the second OR. But Dad was searching for trouble, or trouble just seemed to find him. You all know the story of him robbing people on the streets in 5th Ward, but what many don't know is he often robbed people to give a little something to his family, help his mother out. But it was his mother that shamed him from being a thief. You know, one thing about our family, we never had any thieves in our family, she would say. And George would look around, who told on me? His love for his family, and in particular his mother, set him on a journey that would take him all over the world. The story goes, he got in so much trouble, Grandma Nancy had him enlisted into the Job Corps. Even had the great Doc Brodus say, George, Doc, you need to come and get him. He's down here drinking and fighting. Come and get him. And Doc came and picked George up, took him back to the Job Corps Center, and made an Olympic gold medalist out of him. He said he got the gold medal and was going to go back and get to work. And somebody said, you know, George, you keep fighting, you can make $1 million. That's all he needed to hear. The rest is history. And it was that love for his baby sister that ultimately led him to finding God, or God finding him. His deep love for his sister Mary, as you know, when he learned of his sick nephew, George Edward, named after him. That led him to a quick, brief talk with God. You know, he died after that. He told God, why would you take this kid? He's just a kid. You're going to take a little kid out of the world? Take me. I'm a champion. I've seen the world. Don't take a little kid. What's wrong with you? Take me, he said to God boldly. The man had courage. Some people have dogs, horses. George raised a lion and a tiger. So when he got into a fight or got into the ring, he knew how to stare a man down and be unflinching. The man who loved to stare down a lion and a tiger even swung on a lion to save his brother, my uncle, Sonny Boy. Love, That's the power of love. He loved family so much, he brought a whole row of houses so every one of his cousins could own a house exactly where they wanted, on Gano. Love, I'm telling you. Love. He loved his mom and dad so much, he continued to move them and his sister to live within blocks from his home, no matter how far north he traveled. Even through a flood, walked through a flood one time. He said, I got to figure out how to, Kingwood was flooded, became a river. And he said, we got to go. I got to go get my mom and dad. And made us walk through a river to go get his mother and father now. And while we were going there, he kept thinking, how am I going to carry granddaddy? Because he's so big. Treading through fire ants, tearing me up. Treading through the water to go get his mother and father through the storm. I see Deputy Rosen here. We were in Dallas, Texas. A terrible hurricane had hit the city, ripped it to pieces. And George said, I can't be here. We left a nice hotel in Dallas, came back to Houston. And Deputy Rosen got with us, opened up the center. Devastation in the city like I'd never seen. And George opened up his beautiful facility, untouched, to help the community. Thank you, Deputy. He shared daily with my siblings and I so many stories of his life. He was a great storyteller, great musician. He shared stories with us daily, stories full of wisdom, humor, and God's truth. His view of life was elevated. His love was bigger. His heart was wider, different. His love was so great that every single person, he challenged everyone to be kind because he knew that was the way. As mom, siblings, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, cousin, nieces, nephews, brothers sit before me, I want you to know you have witnessed and received the greatest love. The only greater love than this is the love of Jesus Christ. I know with certainty he is sitting now at the throne, having a talk with his friend Jesus, seeing his loved ones. He always talked about living right and doing right so he could see his mother's face. Now, I guarantee that's where he is right now. Rest well, Dad. We will carry your love with us always.
Hello, my HMTV viewers. I'm glad you are watching. And for the new person here, kindly subscribe to join this beautiful family. So, following the death of our beloved George Foreman, the legendary boxer, pastor, and entrepreneur, passed away peacefully at his home in Houston, Texas, on March 21st, 2025, at the age of 76, born on January 10, 1949 in Marshall, Texas, and grew up in Houston. He was raised in a tough neighborhood and faced a challenging upbringing marked by poverty and trouble with the law. As a teenager, he dropped out of school and got involved in street fights and petty crimes. Foreman's life took a dramatic turn when he joined the Job Corps, a government program that helped young people gain vocational training. It was there that he was introduced to boxing by a counselor who recognized his potential. Foreman trained under Doc Broaddus, who became a key mentor in his early career. He quickly showed talent and power in the ring, which led to his selection for the 1968 U.S. Olympic boxing team. At just 19 years old, Foreman won the gold medal in the heavyweight division at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics, a victory that launched his professional boxing career and changed the course of his life. Known for his incredible punching power, he suffered a famous loss to Muhammad Ali in the 1974 Rumble in the Jungle and retired in 1977 to become a preacher. A decade later, he made a stunning comeback and, in 1994, became the oldest heavyweight champion in history at age 45 by knocking out Michael Moorer. Foreman retired with a record of 76 wins, 68 by knockout, and 5 losses. Beyond the ring, he gained fame for the George Foreman grill, which sold over 100 million units. He is survived by his wife, Mary Joan Martelli, and 12 children, including 5 sons all named George Edward Foreman. A public memorial service honoring his life was held on Monday, April 14th at the Wortham Theater Center in Houston. The event featured tributes from his son, George Foreman IV, Houston Mayor John Whitmire, and former heavyweight champion Michael Moorer, whom Foreman famously defeated in 1994 to reclaim the heavyweight title at age 45. May his soul rest in eternal peace.